Therapeutic Goods Administration will tighten regulation of vitamin B6 after a rise in toxicity cases linked to nerve damage. Now, from June 2027, high-dose products will require pharmacist supervision, while those containing upwards of 200 milligrams will require a prescription. Geraldine Moses is a drug safety researcher and joins me now. Geraldine Moses, thank you for your time. What's your reaction to this tightening of regulations?
Well, I'm greatly relieved, actually. This has been a long time coming, as you say, and for all the consumers who suffered from vitamin B6 toxicity, it's validation for their long-term complaints.
And on those complaints, I mean, it comes after this major review. It heard from people reporting severe and sometimes permanent health effects. What were they experiencing?
Oh, all kinds of things. It usually starts with tingling, pins and needles in the periphery, mostly in the hands and the feet. Then it can lead to pain. Eventually, so that's the sensory effects in the hands and feet, but then it becomes a motor effect. So people can get weakness and difficulty walking and doing fine motor skills. So I've engaged with some people who in the end can't walk at all.
And B6, I mean, it can be a hidden ingredient in some cases. Would you say people were largely unaware, and to that could still be largely unaware of how much they're actually taking?
Oh, absolutely. And I think that's exactly why it's taken so long to come to this stage, that people were unaware, and also very unexpected, because who would think that a vitamin could do this sort of thing? People also have a blind faith that if you take vitamins, the body just knows that it'll reach some point where it will flush out what you don't need. And that's always been a bit of a fairy story. So this is a great time to sit back and for people to go to their medicine cabinet, look at what they've got, that the supplements that they're taking, does it have B6 in it? And maybe rethink whether they even need it or not, because certainly some of these products, there was no point in B6 being in there in the first place.
So these changes and this tightening of regulation that we're looking at now, what will it mean for the consumer come mid-2027 when they go to purchase these products?
Well, largely it'll mean that consumers are safer, that they won't be unknowingly at risk of vitamin B6 poisoning. A lot of the problems will be, though, that pharmacists now have to police this. So I'm hoping that the TGA will implement some education for pharmacists so that we know in our pharmacies how to manage the request, because if some people are really bent on getting B6 products, B6 containing products, that they'll now have to approach a pharmacist and have a chat about it. And we want to make sure that we can manage those requests appropriately.
And what about clearer labelling? Is that on the cards?
Oh, I hope so. We finally need some warnings, because ultimately the manufacturers have never been under any obligation to warn people. There have been warnings on the packaging in Australia for about 2 years, but it's been sort of gobbledygook for a lot of consumers. They didn't really know what it meant. So hopefully the warnings now will improve, and the manufacturers will take more responsibility in what they're engaging in.
And there was pushback to these changes. The supplements industry had warned that it would restrict access, place significant cost burdens on manufacturers. Firstly, do you believe that will be the case? And what are your thoughts on that in any case?
Well, look, I think it's very true. They now have to reformulate and repackage any product that they've got B6 in. But I'm sorry, I don't feel sorry for them. They've been making plenty of money with products that were potentially dangerous. So they just have to accept their responsibility here and go with it. As you may know, that people have regulated vitamin B6 more strictly in other countries for up to 30 years. So it's just high time that the companies here played their part in keeping consumers safe.
And so it's a rough 18-month lead time there, but I mean, can we be largely confident that come mid-2027, people won't be unwittingly taking too much B6 here in Australia?
No, I don't think we can be confident in that, because it's just not something people think about. So I think we do have to maintain the messaging, and I think pharmacists need to step forward and perhaps do more supervision out there in the front shop where so many products are available. And people never take just one product, do they? They always take multiple supplements. There's also vitamin B6, not just in vitamins and minerals, but in meal replacements and various drinks that you can buy on eBay and on the internet. So I think we need to keep that messaging going and keep repeating it, because it's just not something that's in people's consciousness.
Drug safety researcher Geraldine Moses, great to have you with us. Thank you.
Thank you.